Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is going to be a coaching session on patch 824B, and this is for Soraka. So, special thanks to Jolty for the generous donation. If you'd like a coaching session yourself out there, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. We can set it up. It's just $20 off stream or $25 on stream. If you are a channel member with PayPal, then you get $5 off. So you can get it as low as $15 off stream if you want to, which I think is pretty good if you're trying to get better at the game. If you want to get a whole bunch of them, I might even, give you a group discount. You want to get 3 of them, I'm willing to negotiate. Give you a multi-deal. But anyways, just let me know if you're interested in that. And this, I'll have a whole playlist for this as well in the description if you just want to watch a lot of other people doing coaching sessions, try to learn off of that. I've got a nice thumbnail so you can tell which champion it is. I think this is going to be like the 149th coaching session on the channel. So there's a lot of material there for you to check out. Okay. Now, Jolty self-described this as a troll game, and he said it was going to be tank Soraka. So, and I've coached Jolty a lot on Soraka. So we'll see. I've talked about what I think is, proper build, all that stuff on Soraka before. Jolty has his own opinion about some of these things. So we'll see. I mean, I think Soraka's build is usually pretty linear, just because she scales so hard off of plus healing and shielding. That's like her best stat by a long shot. And I think that Mikhail's is so powerful on her because all of your mana regen also converts to HP regen. And HP regen is also, very strong on her because she hurts herself whenever she heals. Nice. It's good aggression. Nice trading. You had good. I'm really surprised they decided to fight you when you had that many minions in your favor, but that's great. So I think a lot of times you're priced into going redemption Mikhail's. Athene's would be pretty good on him on Vayne as well. They don't have that much CC, so it's like maybe Mikhail's is optional. Yeah, there's not much you're gonna get people out of other than like a Gen W, I guess, would be pretty legit. Yeah, most Soraka games, that's the kind of stuff you want to buy, just because those items are so good on her. More worried about Jin getting DH stacks. What would that... Huh. Okay, what'd you get? Yeah, this is one of those places because, like, they don't have a lot of CC. I guess you would just go for, I'd start with Redemption and then probably figure it out from there. Kind of double down on your global heal pressure. Redemption's semi-global. You can usually redeem about to mid lane if you're watching it. And then kind of feel it out from there and see if you want to go Unholy or Ardent. You can see how well the Vayne's doing. Oh, not bad. I need to take the vision off. Sorry, I usually do that really early on. I was just talking and I haven't done a coaching session in a couple of weeks here. let me just rewind and see how did this get started. Too busy looking at Warwick, trying to figure out if you should try to make a play for Dragon since he got the scuttle. It's not really a huge point in queuing Alistar. I guess you're getting Spell Thief stacks, but at this point, you're just really not going to do a lot of damage to him, especially if you're not leveling your Q. Which you're not, yeah, so there's no point. I mean, I guess other than getting the Spell Thief stacks. It does buff up your W healing, so that's the thing. But you want to be very careful that you don't get into, like, engage range or something off of that. I am getting over an illness, too, so sorry if I cough a little bit if that offends you. For anyone watching the VOD. Yeah, see, that was where you got too close trying to just harass the Alistar with, like, an E or a Q, and he caught you with a combo. I think y'all got the better of that game, but that was iffy. Lux does have smite. What? Just trying that smite mid thing in silver? Okay. Yeah. Your mid laner's getting obliterated, though. So that's going to make it hard to take dragons. ...2019, I'm offended by coughing. Chat's pretty funny. Well, I mean, I try not to gross people out. If it's like a really crazy cough or sneeze or something, I'll mute the mic, but just like a little one up. I'll try to cough away from the mic, or at least cover my cough, but... Okay, thanks, Lev. Appreciate it. Okay. Alright, looks like Warwick's just gonna sneak it. I might pop over here to help him. Just, like, loop over here. Unless you think this is warded. Just to help that go a little quicker, but... It was a very slow dragon take, but he got it. Hey, thanks for the sub, Jason. I appreciate it. For those of you just joining, we're just doing a coaching session here real quick on the stream, and then we'll get back to ranked here in a second. Your Pantheon smashing top, though, so... Mobies. This early? I guess. That does let you trade in position a little better. You're about even in turn. I mean, they're still going to be a lot stronger than you right now for an all ads. You ping the Alistar's missing. Okay, there's Diana. Block him, body block, body block, body block. Okay, she's clear. Hey, what's up, Drew? I mean, I'm just commenting on whatever I can see. I'm just trying to give Jolty some tips. You know, just play-by-play tips on what he could improve on in this game. You need to let him know Warwick's probably going upriver. He's either in the bush or he's going upriver. I didn't see him go on that ward, but he could have gone behind. Okay, he's in the river. This is someone who donated Jolty, or Drew. Yeah, it's a it was a $20 donation from Jolty. So usually I'll do every now and then I'll do one of these on the stream. It's not like an all the time thing. And usually during kind of like, I speed it up a little bit too. Like right now, if there's nothing like super eventful, we're coaching the Soraka. You might just want to go ahead and ult. Oh, you already used your ult earlier. Okay. Ooh, that's rough. Yeah. Just run. The Warwick cleanup crew. I feel like Moby Boots is a... I would have probably just gone normal boots and then started working Forbidden Idol. If you had enough for Forbidden Idol instead of Moby Boots, I don't know if you did or not. Oh yeah, definitely do not like the cloth armors. I mean, they have 2 burst mages on their team too. I don't know. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know you said this is kind of a troll build, but like the reason that I don't like armor on Soraka is just because like she doesn't have any sort of abilities that scale with armor. Her base stats are extremely low. Like usually armor is good on champions that have high base stats. So when you have like more health, then your armor is going to be more valuable, right? So for example, you know, if you have enough armor to give you an extra, you know, 30% damage reduction or whatever, right? And you have 1,000 health, then you're basically getting an effective 300 extra health because it's going to take 30% more damage to kill you with physical damage. So they'd have to do, you know, 1,300 damage to kill you if you had 1,000 health. Versus if you have 2,000 health, then it's going to take an additional 600 damage to kill you, right? And so then you get a 600 effective health out of that equivalent armor to give you 30% reduction. And so that's why, like, you don't usually see skinny, like, champions stacking armor that much. Champions that don't get a lot of health per level or don't get a lot of health items. With some exceptions, champions like Rakan, who will get Zeke's because he has, like, very good interactions with that item. But outside of special circumstances, I mean, Soraka doesn't meet any of those criteria. Like, she's not good with Zeke's. She's not good with something like Knight's Vow. And the thing is, like, the opportunity cost is so extreme because she's so good with plus healing and shielding because her heals up every 2 seconds. You know, so you get like massive value out of plus healing and shielding. And the more effective your heals are, the less you have to heal, which means the less health it's going to take you to heal somebody up because it costs you health as well. So you're actually increasing your health pool a ton by getting plus healing and shielding. So like if you have 20% plus healing and shielding, you're effectively taking 20% less damage from your spells because you're going to have to cast it 20% less often to get the same amount of effectiveness out of it. And so that's why, like, plus healing and shielding is not just extra healing and shielding, but it also gives you more effective health because you're not going to have to use as much of your own health to do that healing. AP and plus healing and shielding also affects Aerie, which you're able to trigger every 2 seconds with her heal as well. Soraka's not good with health, though, because, like, it does a percentage of your health. So if you have, you know, if Soraka's heal does 10% of your max HP, you know, if you have 1,000 HP, then it's going to deal 100 damage to you. If you have 2,000 HP, it's going to deal 200 damage to you. You're still only going to get 10 heals out of that, no matter if you have 10,000 health, 100,000 health, or whatever. So it's not as good on her as you would think. It's okay. It stops you from getting bursted out by assassins, but it's not going to give you any more healing because your heals are percentage-based, not flat health-based. Like the amount of health that it taxes you. So, you know, in metas past, I did like Warmogs when Warmogs was 2750, you know, as a third or a fourth item, you know, back before they nerfed some of the health items, and you could get it comfortably without a weird build at, you know, level 13 or something as your third or fourth item. In some circumstances, yeah, Warmogs was good, but the reason for that was not just the fact that it had a lot of health on it, it's because it gave you an obscene amount of regen out of combat. Going Randuins? Definitely do not go Randuins. I mean, what's the threat? Like, they don't have any wall jumpers over there. I don't think they're going to be able to get to you that easily in fights. I think, like, with proper positioning, they don't have champions. Like, they don't have something like a Kha'Zix that's going to be jumping over walls invisible at you, like a Camille or something. Yeah, but they don't have Zed and Talon in this game. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Zed and Talon go through walls and they come at you out of nowhere. Hey, what's up, Future? So sometimes you have to get something a bit more defensive. You shouldn't be picking Soraka into those champions, potentially, but sometimes, you know, they last pick a Zed or a Talon or something, and you're just kind of, like, screwed. You know, I think you should just start with Ninja Tabby. Then if you need to get something defensive, at least get a, like a Knight's Vow or something. Because that way, like, at least you're providing some benefit to your ally. They can heal you up as they're doing damage. It's also a cheap and just very efficient item. Like, Randuin's, I think, is 2,900, which is very expensive. And I guess Jen's going to do critical strikes, but, like, you just shouldn't be getting hit that much. I disagree with the chat. Warmogs plus Spirit Visage is the ultimate Soraka combo. No, the ultimate Soraka combo is, like, Redemption plus Mikhail's. In a lot of games. Plus, like, good positioning. I mean, I see what you're saying. Like, sometimes you gotta have some protection against assassins, but, like, I just don't see how, if you're positioning correctly, they should get to you. Maybe like a Quinn flank or something. You can silence her out of her bird, though. I just think, especially on a champion like Soraka, you need to be as greedy as you can be. Because you scale so well with plus healing and shielding. If it's something like Lulu, for example, you can afford to get something a little more defensive on Lulu if you have to, you know. You could go something like a Zeke's on Lulu, because she doesn't scale that well with plus healing and shielding. The only thing that benefits is her shield, which is a pretty dinky shield on a 10-second cooldown to begin with. Because her ult is an infusion of health, it's not a shield. And so, like, and just, like, she's built to kind of, like, you pick her into assassins, and she's built to go against them, right? She's got polymorph to buy time. She's got her ultimate to give her a ton of extra effective health, you know, an infusion of 600 extra health that would stack really well with that armor. So, you know, I could see some builds maybe with someone like Lulu. If they have a Fed Assassin, you could go like Ninja Tabby plus Zeke's. Low cooldown ult you can use proactively that gives effective health, helps protect you, helps protect your allies, you know, holds them still so that they can, you know, land more empowered autos on the person that's that's being slowed by your Zeke 80 carry. Like, I could see builds like that on some enchanters, you know, in some context, but I just don't think Soraka's one of them most of the time. Like, you haven't even died. You know, like, I think you're building like you're 0-10 or something. Like, that'd be the message I would get. You haven't even died yet.
Rampage.
I mean, here's the thing. It's like every time you build something like that, you're lowering the amount of, like, healing that you're giving your team by a lot, you know? Because the Randuin's, like, that's 2,900 gold. That's like 1.5 typical support items, right? That 1 1/3 or something, right? Because Redemption's 2,100. And if you get a Mikhail's, that's also 2,100. Or an Athene's Unholy Grail. And so for 4,200, you could have 2 items. You're paying 2,900 for 1 item. Like, that's an issue, too. I just think you don't need to play that scared or that defensively on Soraka. I mean, you're right. Like, I don't know. People could kill you, you know? But Soraka, just by her nature, is going to be a risky, dangerous champion. Like, that's just who she is. I think if you want to play something, like, if you're more scared about your positioning, and you want to play something that has, like, better better tools for peeling and position, like, it's probably Janna would be your girl, you know? She's got the tornado in her ult. She's a lot faster. She's just a safer pick than Soraka. Soraka just has the raw, like, healing output. Alright. Excuse me. I know, I'm just telling you. Jolty says he pretty much gave up on this game at this point. I mean, I wouldn't give up. Like, this is comeback. We're only down 10 kills. This is silver. Like, you know, you can still win, you know? Like, people throw. Like, they could try to do Baron and get haste, and you just come back and win the game. Or, like, maybe you get a couple of kills on somebody. They start raging at each other, and then Quinn just starts running it down middle. I mean, I think it's definitely not impossible. I mean, you don't have a great team comp for it. The Vayne could start going off. I mean, she's doing all right. I mean, anything's possible in silver, though, man. Do all enchanters scale well? They scale pretty well. It depends on which ones you're talking about and, like, what your team comp is, but yeah, usually, because plus healing and shielding is one of the best stats in the game as far as multiplicative scaling. Because most of those champions with the heals and shields, they're going to scale off of AP usually. They're going to scale off of plus healing and shielding. They're going to scale off levels and the abilities, obviously. And then they work with resistances instead of against resistances. So as people get more resistances, they have more effective health, which means your plus healing and shielding is going to be even stronger. So yeah, that's what makes them scale really well. I'd say that's probably a safe assumption that enchanters probably scale better than almost any other class of support in the game. Probably any other class. As far as, like, raw stats go, you know, you can't really put a price on a really good thresh hook, right, at 35 minutes. That wins the team fight for you, but as far as, like, raw stats, that was a good pick. Alright, yeah, Vayne's starting to go off. She's getting some shutdowns. Yeah, Baron. There you go, see? They just had a really stupid fight, and you get to go get Baron. Boom. Okay. People do it all the time. Like, even in platinum, they do it a little bit less in diamond, but it still happens where people just start throwing hard. Really, like, one of the major things, too, that, like, helps is the items, not just the plus healing and shielding, but the kinds of items that enchanters can get have so, like, they're so strong in terms of multiplicative value on your team. Like, Ardent Sensor, you can give that buff with some enchanters to, like, 3 people, sometimes even your whole team if it's, like, Sona over and over again. And that buff is worth, like, 1,000 gold in the mid to late game. So you're talking like 5,000 effective gold worth of buffs in addition to the normal, you know, like 2,300 gold that it's worth. So you're talking like a 7,000 gold item or more for the price of like 2,300. That's just obscenely cheap. Or something like a redemption. You know, hitting a redemption, like a mid-game redemption when you have a lot of plus healing and shielding, like on top of, you know, 3 of your own people in a team fight just gives you huge value. Mikhail's, like having a free, like, not quite a Quicksilver Sash, but close for anyone on your team. I mean, that can decide games if you get somebody out of CC. Like, all that's so powerful. Whereas, like, tank items, they have some okay stuff. You know, they got Knight's Vow. They've got Zeke's, which is pretty good, but I don't think that's anywhere close to the power level of some of these enchanter items and how well they use them. And their items are very cheap. That's the thing, is like all the enchanter items are like 2,100 to 2,300 gold. You start talking about like the AP support items, you have to spend like 3,000 gold for those things. So if you're not ahead, like you're paying 50% more for your items than the enchanter supports are. Same thing if you're buying heavy duty tank items like this instead of the 2,200 gold items. Hey Lyria. Yeah, I'm getting over the illness. I'm feeling a little better. I didn't stream yesterday because I was trying to get some more rest, but hey, thanks, Katya. I appreciate it.
Killing spree.
All right, Brian. Yeah, just let me know when you want to do that normal duo, Brian, and we can do that.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, we can do it on stream if you want, man. I'm not going to be able to do it. If you want to do it off stream, I can't do that today. But if you want to do it on stream, we do it on stream. Like, you know, a problem with armor, like, on Soraka as well, which I kind of alluded to earlier, is, like, you have to injure yourself to heal people. And because you don't have plus healing and shielding, like, you're going to have to injure yourself more to heal people the same amount that someone with plus healing and shielding would have to heal them for. So that means that you have, like, much lower effective health, which means the armor is not going to matter. You know, if you damage yourself down to 500 health trying to heal somebody up, and you've got enough armor to block, you know, 50% of the damage, let's say, your effective health is only going to be 750. Versus if you had a lot of extra plus healing and shielding and AP, and to heal the same person up, you know, you only went down to 800 HP instead of 500, it's still going to be better to do that, even if you have 0 armor, because you're going to have 800 flat health remaining, because you didn't have to damage yourself to heal them one more time for that amount. You see what I'm saying? So, like, having the 100 armor to get the 50% reduction doesn't matter if you have significantly lower base health, because you're having to go into lower base health to heal somebody, because you don't have enough plus healing and shielding to stay healthier. So, like, right there, Quinn still killed you in one shot, you know, because you're still at 10% HP, even though, you know, you have however much armor right now. You have 147 armor. She still killed you in one auto because you were low on health, because you weren't healing people for very much. Because you don't have any plus healing and shielding. Alright, Baron's up. You have wards. Yeah, ward here, ward here. Drop a ward here. Right here, right here, right here. They just swept the pit. Like, right here is a good place to ward, because they'll try to come up and drop a ward over this wall or something here. A lot of times. It's true damage. You can't prevent the damage that she, it's a cost to casting the spell. I would say most enchanters don't have health on them. It's just Redemption has health on it. Most of them have, well, they have plus healing and shielding. A lot of them do. Usually they have, well, not all of them have AP. They're all a little bit different. But they're usually fairly light on defensive. Like, Redemption has health. Ardent Censer has no defensive stuff on it. Mikhail's has magic resist. And, Unholy Grail has magic resist. Yeah, so there's no way to prevent the damage that she takes. Like, you can't get magic resist or physical resist or anything like that to prevent how much it costs for her to heal. She can't kill herself by healing. It just turns off the heal, so it's a cost. Double Baron. I mean, that Vayne's fed as hell right now, too. Like, if you had an Ardent Censer, you'd really send her off to the races. Yeah, you gotta be typing these guys saying, hey, man, like, wait, we don't have Lux, or, you know, we don't have this or that. Just tell them to wait. You gotta start directing them. Okay, so like any gold generation item is going to have health on it. A little bit. Mikhail's does not have health. Redemption does have health. Yeah, I would have played around Vayne. I probably would have, I would have gone Redemption first. And then once I saw the Vayne was doing pretty well, after she got like this triple kill up here, I probably would have gone Ardent Censer. And then after that, near the end, I guess you could kind of see... Probably Athene's. Or you could even go Knight's Vow on her, because her doing damage would heal you up. Knight's Vow would give you the kind of protection you feel like you might need, but it would also give her, it would give you a lot of healing off the damage she's doing. What's your opinion on Grail? When and who should you build it with? It's a complicated question. It depends on what's going on in the game. I mean, anyone that can put out consistent damage. I mean, like the best candidate's obviously Sona. Nami can get it, can be good. I think it's questionable on other champs. It just depends, like, how well you're doing early game, how well other things are. Like right now with Soraka, it's kind of a toss-up because they don't have a lot of CC. If they had more CC on their team, Mikhail's is going to be better. But since they don't have a lot, then then Grail might be pretty good here. Depends on which items you think you're going to get, too. You know, if you're not going to be getting redemption in the game, it's a lot more questionable if you want to go Grail. Oh, it gives you health regen. I thought you were talking flat health. You talking health regen? Yeah, you say they have health on them. I thought you meant flat health, not health regen. Yeah, all of those items do have health regen. That is correct. Yeah, I mean, Lux is 0-12, whatever. 0-9. I mean, here's the thing. You're just going to have to carry some people that are doing bad if you want to win games. Like, that's just it. I mean, I've talked about this before in a lot of my guides, but, like, if you don't feel like people are doing worse than you in games, if you feel like it's about even, you're not going to climb. Like, if it feels like everybody's doing well in your game, like, consistently, then you're probably not going to climb. Because it means you're not spotting, like, things that either you or they could be doing better. You know, because, like, in order to climb, you have to do better than everybody else. You know? If you're doing just the same as everybody else is doing, then you're going to be in the same elo as everybody else, you know? In your games. But, like, you know, if you're, if you're Silver 4, for example, you're trying to get up to Gold 4, you're going to have to play like you're Gold 4 to get to Gold 4. And so, if you're playing like you're Gold 4, and everyone else is playing like they're Silver 4, because that's the game you're in, you're probably going to do a lot better than they do in most games. That's normal. It should look like people on your team are failing. Like, 0-9 is an extreme fail, or 0-10, but you got to keep in mind, like, there's going to be somebody like that in every game. Probably. I mean, if each one of your lanes is, you know, roughly a coin flip, whether they're going to perform or, like, not perform, then assuming you win your lane every single time, which realistically not going to happen, everybody has some bad games, but, you know, at least 2 lanes are going to fail then. At least 2 positions are going to fail relative to the others. So you're always going to have, like, 2 or 3 failure lanes on average. But yeah, you just got to carry people sometimes, you know. At the end of the day, the only number that matters is actually a letter, and it's a W. That's it. That's all that matters. Now, that sounds cheesy, but it doesn't matter if you're 0-12 or your teammate's 0-12 or whatever. If you win, you win. That's it. He might just be having a bad game. I mean, we don't know. But yeah, I mean, you just have to figure out how do you win around people that are feeding. How do you win around, like, you just try to focus on people that are doing really well, right? Like this Vayne, like, you need to be building around her, setting her up. Like I was saying, I think, you know, Ardent Sensor, Mikhail, something like that would have helped a ton. She's still doing pretty well, but yeah, just ward for her, you know, use all your heals on her. Use your silence to peel her. I know it sucks. I definitely notice people who go 0-10 in my games too, but, you know, it's possible to win. You can win with 1, sometimes even 2 feeders if you have good people on your team.
Red team's turret has been
I mean, it's like, yeah, your Lux is 0-11, but your Vayne's 13-1, you know? Oh, he was trying. I didn't even see that. I was too busy chatting. Yeah, it was good to get back there and deal with that. Yeah, you gotta watch out for that Chori. Okay. Yeah, I mean, some people just... Some people are just rough. Since you never dodge, well, you're adding on a lot of time to potentially climbing if you don't dodge. Adding a lot of stress to your life, too. That's somebody else talking in the chat. That's Lev and Fighting Nico talking. More hogs. Yeah, I mean, I've tried this build. It seems alluring, right? Like, you're this tanky, you know, healer. They can't kill you. You just run around. You're still putting out heals, you know. But for all the reasons we described earlier, I think it's mostly an illusion because it's a percentage of your health. If it was like flat health, if it was like it costs you 20 health no matter what, something like a Mordekaiser or like a Vladimir type of health consumption system, then like, yeah, getting like max health would actually be like worth considering. But because it's a percentage, because it's always like 5% or 10% of your max health, then it doesn't give you like more heals.
Team's inhibitors respawning soon.
I mean, the Warmogs, like the effective healing on Warmogs will, but oof. No, you need to ward this right now. Okay. The old Santa Hat Baron. This game is getting pretty wacky.
Legendary. Blue team's inhibitors respawning soon.
All right, nice. All right, so we we talked about the itemization here. I know I've talked about this like a lot. I mean, I haven't seen you go like that much, like full on tank. You don't see Soraka a lot, but yeah, I mean, it's basically like Redemption McHale's every single time. Sort of what I was saying. It's because these two just have such insane synergy with like her kit and sort of what she's doing, what she has going on. It's like it's 100% always Redemption, and then the vast majority of the time it's going to be a McHale's. And if they have enough gold, Ardent Sensor. I mean, in pro games, you're not going to see her as much. Occasionally, you know, if they have like no CC on their team, you might see an Athene's Unholy Grail. So you shouldn't always just like mimic exactly what pros do, you know, most of the time. But like, you know, if there's like 15 different people in Challenger or something like that, and they're all getting like the same couple of items on a champion, then there's probably something to that, you know, unless you have an extremely good reasoning and justification for like not doing that. Then it's usually a good idea to go with that. Now, sometimes, you know, the metagame is a little different at the professional level or at the, you know, high challenger level than it is in like silver, bronze, or iron, and sometimes different kinds of itemization makes sense. But, hold on one second, excuse me. But in this case, I think they're onto something for the reasons I described. So overall, pretty good job. I think, you know, just the itemization thing would probably be the best thing I would recommend. Another thing, I still think in the laning phase, if you want to harass as much as you're harassing in the laning phase, I still think you should get, we've talked about this before, like 3 points of Q early on is going to be your most efficient harassment tool. Just because it does the extra damage, you can spam it a lot, and it heals you, and it empowers your W. So I think that's by far your best early game option. If you're just going to get hammered in lane and you just want to go ahead and start maxing out that W to sustain, you can do that. Although if you get 3 points of Q and then max W outside of lane, you're only going to get max W one level later. You'll finish it at level 10. Instead of level 9, and in exchange for that, in exchange for having one level later on the max, you'll have a lot more lane pressure. So those are a couple of things to keep in mind. Other than that, I mean, I thought that your positioning was pretty good in most fights. You didn't get caught out or killed. Yeah, I think those are the biggest things, are just, you know, thinking about the itemization a little bit more. And if you want to play that aggressive, which I like the aggression early, then definitely like put a couple more points in your Q and then start maxing your W after that. Okay, that's going to be it. Thank you all very much. Special thanks to Jolty. Anyone watching, if you want a coaching session, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. We can set that up. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Hit that bell so you get the notifications. And I'll see everyone next time. Have a good day.